I thought this was historic. I haven't seen anything like this, in my life, except for Charles Manson jumping across to try to stab the judge with a pin. But the judge cussed this guy out. He actually stopped the court and cussed, not this guy, this is a guy testifying. This is an investigator who went in the house where Ahmaud Arbery walked in, and he's given his testimony, but this judge, this attorney keeps insisting on asking the questions. Well, there had been burglaries in the area, and could he have went in there and committed burglary to steal things? Okay, so the judge did a historic cuss out. I've never seen nothing like it. I'll play it. I'll play it and try to put the link. But looking down the comments, actually nobody even knows what the video is about. They're just making statements. Those guys shot that guy. In other words, they don't have any idea the importance of why that judge stopped the court, told the jury to leave, and then cussed this guy out. And the reason is because it was already determined by the court that there was no burglary committed at that house, and that kids, everyone else had went in, even a white couple that went in, and we all know why. That they went in for about 5 minutes at night and then came back out. And so it's already been determined by the court and the evidence that to go in there doesn't mean you're going in to steal stuff. That Ahmaud Arbery was caught with no stolen stuff, even if he did, like the stuff in the fishing boat, that he wasn't caught with that. Therefore, in a court of law, it cannot be used against him. And to selectively single out one person out of 10 people that went in the house, including kids, and single out the one person and say, well, he's black. Therefore, he went in there to steal, and it was a burglary. Okay, so the guy kept continuing on and on. Let me show you some of this. But nobody understood. Nobody down there in the comments has the slightest idea why the judge was so pissed off. I'll play a little bit of this. This is historic. That's why I'm uploading.
Break-ins.
Yes, sir.
See, break-ins.
That doesn't require something to get broken. You don't have to kick a door or break a window to make a break-in.
No, it's commonly used for just going in, entering. Yeah.
Burglary.
See?
You don't have to actually steal something. It's
See?
just entering with the intent to steal something.
Objection.
You see, that's why they objected. Because he keeps using the term burglary to brainwash the jury. And that is why the woman lawyer objected, that he keeps insisting on saying, well, we all know that he went in there to steal and burglarize. But they don't have any evidence of that. And so he kept on and he kept on.
This is the law that the court is going to give the jury to ask this officer, or actually to have Mr. Sheffield testify to what the law is and then ask this officer to agree with him as appropriate.
Objection inappropriate, I don't think is a legal objection. The reason I'm asking these questions, though, is because he's investigating, and I want to understand the way he's investigating. And
Okay, now listen to, that's the bad guy that's going to get cussed out. Listen to what he's saying. Well, he's investigating, therefore I want to ask him anything as to what he's doing and how he's investigating. The truth is that he wanted to keep asking questions to keep saying that Ahmaud Arbery went in there to burglarize and steal. Well, he's not allowed to do that. He's not allowed to do that as an attorney. But he keeps on and on with the judge knowing that he's trying to hammer away, keeps saying, well, we know that he went in there to steal and it was a burglary, when it's already been determined that it was not. And so,
decisions that he's making. So I'm asking him to help me understand that he's going in there to determine whether or not a burglary or some type of intent to enter to steal. That's all.
Okay. Well,
a burglary or some type of intent to enter to steal. He's not allowed to single out the one person to say that when the kids and everyone has already been viewed going in there on the cameras. He's brainwashing, he's coloring the jury to keep using the term burglary, and he went in there to steal. Okay, now look at what's coming up.
to
relevance of defining, that's really the objection. So,
yeah.
well, you don't need to argue with me either.
No.
So it's actually sustainable relevance. As the court has already instructed the panel a number of times, the law will be given to you from the court. And again, what lawyers say is not testimony or evidence in the case.
Correct. Bullshit attorneys getting up and using a line of words to try to brainwash the jury. That's not evidence. That's not evidence. That you go by the court, the instructions of the court, not by the bullshit lying attorneys that get up.
Couched in those terms, you can ask him what he thinks, but let's not go ahead and define it for him.
Okay.
Correct.
So when you're trying to, what are you trying to figure out when you've been told that somebody committed a burglary?
Objection. Facts not in evidence. Nobody's told him that anybody committed a burglary.
Correct.
And so therefore, especially that day, to ask him about this is facts not in evidence, and counsel's trying to testify.
You were told that somebody committed a burglary, weren't you?
Was told he was going in there repeatedly, and break-ins was used, burglaries was used for the neighborhood throughout.
Well, solid
It's
ground.
sustained because that's Mr. McMichael's statement, and he's already testified that he did not follow up on that. So it's sustained.
Okay. You did not follow up to try to determine if a burglary had been committed at 220?
Objection.
Notice,
Once again, formal question, on what day?
now he tells this guy, well, no, he's actually talking to the jury. Okay, he tells this guy, well, you're telling me now that even though a burglary was committed at that house, that you didn't follow up on it, did you? Okay, attorneys are not allowed to do that. That is absolute bullshit. It could be a mistrial. That alone could be a mistrial because the jury was present.
He's already testified to what he did, and you've asked him, it was either you or
Oh, why I'm
Mr.
so confused, Judge. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm following.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please take a step outside.
The judge is so pissed off. I've never seen this. He literally tells the jury to leave. Now listen to this.
Mr. Sheffield,
Oh,
you
Lord.
can agree or disagree with this court. That is your prerogative. But to act in the way that you just did in front of this panel, disrespect, I don't care whether you like my rulings or not, or you like me or not, but in this court, the Superior Court, it is axiomatic that counsel show at least respect for what the court is doing. And what you just did shows a lack of respect for what the court is trying to do here, which is create an environment which is fair to all parties. I would suggest that you take a moment to think about that. I'm going to step off the bench because I found that, I'll just call it rude. All right? I have tolerated a number of things in the courtroom, including, flip charts, writing in the middle of, the jury gets distracted when you were doing the flip charts here, jumping up and moving the boards. I would suggest that you temper some of that very quickly because it will not be tolerated in this court. And I will leave it at that. I do not need an explanation. I do not need an apology. None of that. But I would suggest that we take a moment and think about the way that you're reacting to the court's instructions and rulings. We're in recess. Thank you.
In the chest, one.
Shit.
Did you?
But anyway, very good judge, because the cuss out that he gave to that dirty attorney was advanced. It was advanced that he was breaking the rules, and yet anybody watching it wouldn't know it. And if you look down the comments, actually nobody has any idea what the video is about. No idea why the judge was upset. But anyway, that's why this upload. Very good judge, and I've never seen anything like this. I've been on a few juries a long time ago, and believe me, a long time ago. But the attorneys are not allowed to do that. You think they are. That when people watch trials, they think this guy gets up, does what he wants. Now this guy gets up, does what he wants. That is not the way it works.